More we now live in an age of incessant cinematic CGI, when most every studio tentpole save, notably, for this month's Mission Impossible, Fallout is awash in delirious digitized spectacle. The technological tools at filmmakers' disposal are hardly something to lament. Like most devices, they can be used for positive or negative ends, depending on who wields them. Yet as we come into the home stretch of yet another extravaganza-heavy summer, it's worth remembering that, for all their benefits, computerized effects aren't necessary to craft a slam-bang action saga of enormous set pieces and propulsive thrills. And for proof of that fact, one need look no further than the genre gem celebrating its 25th anniversary today. The Fugitive. To watch The Fugitive now is to be transported back to an era when clever practical and rear projection effects were all a skilled craftsman needing to produce unforgettable heart-in-your-throat moments. A quarter of a century after its theatrical debut, on August 6, 1993, Andrew Davis's Harrison Ford vehicle is still a well-oiled machine that generates suspense through shrewd plotting and precise staging. Its tension rooted in the overarching play of its protagonist, and thus in the performance of its marquee lead. It recognizes that character comes before pageantry, because, in the end, one cares most about the latter when they're deeply invested in the former. Throw in a stellar supporting turn from Tommy Lee Jones which earned him a Best Supporting Actor Oscar and you have a relic that doesn't play like a relic at all. On the contrary, it remains one of modern Hollywood's all-time best action films. The Fugitive lets moviegoers know that it knows what it's doing from the get-go. Cutting back and forth between police officers arriving at the home of Dr. Richard Kimball Ford and the earlier assault and murder of Kimball's wife, Helen Sella Ward, the latter shown in jagged black and white snippets punctuated by white photo flash edits. Davis handles his plot's instigating incident in minutes while simultaneously moving on to the post-tragedy events at hand, all without indulging in murderous titillation. So swiftly and efficiently does the director move his material forward, in fact, that he temporarily pauses the opening credits to finish setting his narrative table, only to resume them once Kimball has been questioned, tried in court, convicted, sentenced, and sent on to a transport bus heading to his new penitentiary residence. From there, Davis puts the proverbial pedal to the metal, beginning with a bus crash that turns into a train crash that frees Kimball from incarceration, a scene assembled with a mixture of on-location work and rear projection trickery that's about as seamless as it gets. Not to mention as concussive, The Fugitive's first centerpiece has an explosive screeching metal intensity that more than holds up. Better yet, it reveals both Kimball's physical dexterity and luck, as well as his goodness. Throughout, Davis fixates on Ford's and Jones's face, often via close-ups in which the star first bearded, then clean-shaven moves toward the camera, a formal signature that accentuates the harried emotional condition of his wrongman hero. That concentration on Ford's countenance reaches its pinnacle during The Fugitive's finest sequence, in which Kimball, trapped in a tunnel with no way out, takes to the sewers and, pursued by Jones's no-nonsense U.S. Marshal Samuel Gerard, discovers that the only means of escaping capture is to leap to his possible death off a monumental dam. Thanks to Davis's expert direction, that scene is most memorable for Ford's look of terrified resignation mixed with courage, which is highlighted in the foreground while Jones is visible holding him at gunpoint in the background. Kimball's jump is an act that still manages to produce gasps, and as befitting the film's style, it is then immediately followed by a tight shot of Jones's bug-eyed, stunned beyond belief mug, as he suddenly becomes the audience's shocked proxy. Proficiently scripted by David Twohy and later go on to make another lean genre effort, Pitch Black, The Fugitive never flags, maintaining fever-pitch momentum as it details Kimball's flight from apprehension, and quest to uncover the identity of the one-armed man who killed his wife, and Gerard's concurrent pursuit of Kimball with the aid of his marshals team, including Joe Pantoliano, Daniel Roebuck, and L. Scott Caldwell. Brief but crucial appearances by Julianne Moore as a doctor at a hospital where Kimball does some sanely good and Jane Lynch as a friendly Kimball colleague further round out a cast that's stellar from top to bottom. Nonetheless, even as it segues into its later big pharma conspiracy passages, The Fugitive rests firmly on the shoulders of Ford and Jones, which makes it something like an exemplar of old-school star power, for all its pinpoint execution of a simple, compelling cha.